In this video, I'll be showing you some of the different ways you can use to erase the background of the image. So in this picture, all I need is these three legs. So I want to erase the image of the room, the wall, and the floor. The simplest tool you can use is the eraser tool, of course. And erase. Easy. Pretty simple. But the eraser size is 1. That's why it's so tiny. It's going to take forever to erase the whole thing. Of course, you can change the size. Use like 57 and it's much easier now. But if you want to work on the details, okay, let's zoom in. Okay, you're gonna have to use a smaller eraser size. Then little by little you go. If you make a mistake, you undo and do it again. Do it again. Smaller size, and still it's a really tedious process, and it's gonna take forever. Professionals go into more details like this. Zoom in and use a really small eraser size and work on pixel by pixel. But in your case, yeah, this technique does work, but in your case, as a teacher, you're gonna be creating a lot of list materials, and you don't have time to be doing this. So you don't have a whole day for just doing this. So, okay, let's pull back a little bit. There's another tool you can use. This is called Magic Wand. And with that, you can make a large selection like this and delete. Again, select, delete, select, delete, select, delete. Of course, there's a drawback to it. If you zoom in on it, the border or edge is not very accurate. Actually, it kind of erases the leg. If the cleanness is not an issue for you, and if the edge is really clear cut, then this will work this magic wand will work really well. Another tool you can use is a lasso tool. And this tool will allow you to make a selection, freehand selection. Then delete. So if you zoom in on it, it might help to make a pretty good selection if you have a really good hand control. But line gets shaky usually. So again, this is not exactly an ideal tool for creating a clear cut deletion. Okay. Also you can use this marquee tool. It only allows you to make a rectangular selection. So it's not suited for working on the angles like this, right? Like here and here. And one last tool I want to show you is a pen tool. Okay, let's work on this area. Let's zoom in on it. Okay, so I want to make a selection of this area. And with the pen tool, it's pretty easy to do. And before you use the pen tool, a couple of things you want to make sure. Okay, the line size, the finer the better. Color black is fine. And the fill color, none is good. Okay, so it's all ready. Now, I want to select this area and get rid of this background. So I'm going to start from here. Click. By clicking on the points, you can make a selection. Okay, and to complete the selection, you click on the point where you started. Okay, The good thing about this tool is that you can actually bend these lines to conform to the edges. So to do that, okay, we're still on the pen tool. So I want to push this line up a little bit up to bend it. So click on the line right in the middle, then drag it away from the point you just created. Then use a white arrow tool and push this dot up. See, it makes a curve. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate that on this line again. So go back to the pen tool, and I want to push this point to this way to make a curve, to curve this line a little bit. So click on this line, then drag it away from the dot, then use a white pen tool, use a white arrow tool and move it to this way, this side, and makes a curve. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on this and show you what I did again. So I use a pen tool and I clicked on the line because I want to make a curve like this. I want to make this line curved like this. I want to push this point to this way a little bit. So I want to click on this line, then click again and drag to the side a little bit to get two handles. See. Then switch the tool to white arrow and push this point to this way to get a curve, just like the shape of the border between the subject and the background. Okay, now I'm going to show you the same technique once more. I'm going to demonstrate the technique right here on this line. So I'll go back to the pen tool, and this line needs to be bent a little bit. This line needs to be curved this way. This line needs to be pushed this way a little bit. So I click on the line here to add a dot and click on it again and drag it away from the dot. You make the handles longer when the curve is bigger. The area is bigger. And then switch the tool to the white arrow and move this dot this way to make a curve that fits the border perfectly. Sometimes you have to adjust the handles a little bit like this. Okay, looks like I made a pretty good selection. So now I'm going to pull back a little bit. I'm ready to turn it into a marquee. Okay. At this point, when I hit delete, it's going to delete the selection and it's gone. Okay, let's pull back a little bit. So as you can see, this technique is faster than using the eraser and as clean as going pixel by pixel with the eraser. This is not as fast as using the magic wand, unfortunately, but the result is obvious, much smoother. It's rough. Magic wand is pretty rough, and with this pen tool technique, it's pretty smooth. The border is going to be very smooth. So these are some of the ways you can use to erase the background of the image. Practice and get used to them because they're going to be pretty useful for you to create instructional images.